Hello everyone, welcome to this Q&A video. I got a bunch of questions from both my Discord and through YouTube comments, and I'm going to be answering them today to celebrate 4K subscribers. I just want to say thank you for just thank you. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for 5K subs yet, but we'll see what happens. Let's start off with some Object Show related questions. Will you be making a new Object Show camp? Unfortunately no, I'm going to be moving away from Object Show camp stuff in general, because I just don't have the time for it really. Do you have a least favorite OC character from any show? If so, who is it? I'm gonna have to go with... I'm sorry, but okay, I'm not actually sorry. AirPod from Moss, I think, is one of the worst characters I've ever seen. When it comes to personality, at least. The show itself, it has its problems. I do like the visuals and everything. It has a lot of really good visuals, but the writing isn't the best. And AirPod is a kind of a perfect example of that. If you could make a friend Object Show with a maximum of 2 teams of 6, who would it be, and what would be the team names? I don't know, I'd go, every character would be me, and it would be Team Me and Team Me. I don't know. It's a very difficult question. But like when it comes to like friend shows, I'm probably not going to do one yet. Maybe in the future, if I have the time, I might do one. But currently, I'm not going to focus on having too many shows going at once. But it's a good question. It's just maybe a little too difficult for me to answer. If you're going to do a camp that is not on Discord or your choice, how many people would be in it, and who would be your favorite and least favorite character from your show? Let's start with the first question. I don't know whether on Discord or not. Usually, I don't really like doing the the YouTube camp stuff. I guess maybe DeviantArt camp would be too bad, but I don't really use DeviantArt. But like for me, camps like around the 10 to 20 amount of people tend to work the best, I think. Having over 20, just like with regular Object Shows, can be a lot to deal with. Although probably still easier than making a show, you need to have that good, you need to be very good at hosting things in general, like managing things. And that is not a skill that I have a lot of, I'm not very good at it. So it makes it difficult for me, which is why I haven't done camps for a while. But I'd say maybe 15, 16 people. Something nice and simple. And favorite and least favorite character for my own show, I'm going to base it off of beta. Favorite character, I'd go with Trash Can, maybe. I think Trash Can in the original TCC beta is really fun, and I genuinely really like writing him in the show. He's just a fun character. And I think Void Comics, the voice actor, does a really good job as Trash Can. I love the voice that he puts on for him. It really fits his personality of just being fucking crazy and willing to do anything to win the game. And then we have least favorite, which would be a self-insert that I'm gonna say right now is not in the reboot. I think that's pretty obvious. It's Jack. He's basically a self-insert character that isn't really a self-insert anymore, because I'm not really like him anymore. He's based off of my 14-year-old self who thought that it was half emo, and I took this is if my half emo side was a character. It's so dumb, and I don't think I'm gonna have humans in TCC's reboot. It's not really a thing I'm gonna do anymore, because I don't know. I don't really think it's necessary anymore. But it's not that I'm against that whole idea. It's just the way I went about it, not very good. It was, if anything, it was kind of a copy of what was being done with Oso, which I'm not even going to mention the character's name because it's who. But yeah, you get it. What's your favorite character to voice in any Object Show you've made? That literally, Twitter from BFTH. Such a fun character to voice. I love doing this voice. It's so fun. What other Object OCs do you have? I don't have a ton. There's a couple characters that I've made for other projects that I might use in the future. There's a Marmite character that's based off New Zealand brand Marmite. I guess he was gonna be a couple of joke show ideas that I had that just never came to fruition, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see. Alright, now we're heading on to TCC specific questions. As, you know, I think it'd be appropriate to have its own category. Can I have a random fact about pizza? You sure can. This fact is that in TCC Beta it is canon that pizza is technically a cannibalist because of episode 2. But in the reboot, it's not canon. So, how did you come up with your OCs, Jandal and Randall? Well, in New Zealand, fun fact, I'm from New Zealand by the way. In New Zealand, obviously we wear flip-flops, but we call them Jandals. No, that the reason they're called Jandals is basically another way of saying Japanese sandal. But like, yeah, in New Zealand we call them Jandals. And I thought, obviously, if Jandal's gonna have a co-host, have another flip-flop, have another Jandal. And I wanted to do, since I love doing like rhyming and stuff, like rhyming and alliteration so much, I thought, well, if he's gonna have like a kind of like a co-op, like a co-host of some sort that kind of rivals his energy in the sense of having a kind of opposite kind of feeling towards like contestants and stuff, I thought, having someone who's a bit more like, not necessarily mean, but a little bit more blunt and a little bit more, takes things a little bit more seriously than Jandal, I thought, well, what about this? And I came up with Randall. I think generally I really like both of these characters. How did you come up with the characters for TCC? Also, congrats on 4K, let's go! Thank you so much. Also, thank you for your comments or giving a question. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. Well, this is kind of a continuation. Again, I based a lot of characters off of either things that I liked, objects that I had in my room, or New Zealand-based objects, pretty much. So, obviously, yeah, you had your Jandal, your Pavlova, specifically. You have, like, Hokey Pokey, which is based off of Hokey Pokey ice cream. You get it. Some of the characters are just based off of New Zealand things, and I thought that was kind of nice to have, because there's not a lot of New Zealand representation and object show stuff, and I thought, what if I was that, What if I really honed in on that, and gave that kind of edge to my channel, to my content. And then there is, obviously, like, things based off of my room. I have, basically, globe is based off the globe I actually have in my room. The difference is that it's an actual, like, functioning, like, the whole world globe, not like a joke where it's just New Zealand on the globe. That's been around since CJW, that design, where it's just New Zealand, although it's done a lot better now. And then, obviously, yeah, just things I like. I like pizza. Put pizza in the show. You get it. Also, there are a couple characters that were initially introduced by people who used to work for the show, who have either left or are still working on the show. There are a couple characters like that. I really like your shows, but they take too long to upload. Why is that? Basically, animation tends to be a struggle, especially with like backgrounds and basically visuals. Especially the animation and backgrounds, I think, tend to take a long time to make, because we don't have the biggest team, and generally it's just a lot of work when I make like a 17-minute episode. Alright, next section, BFTHA. This next section is pretty cool. Out of all of them, who is your favorite BFTHA contestant? I'd have to go with Minecraft for PS1, although he only got 3rd in the first season. He was fun. He's a fun character to write for. He's such a silly little goober. I like him. What is the progress of Battle for Tally Hall's second album? About that. So, for those who are not aware and don't look at my community posts, or my Discord, I have announced that the second season has been cancelled, as it's just been too much to work on. If you want a more specific, like, the actual, like, what I initially said, it's, again, in the community posts. I can link it in the description. It's basically just a screenshot of what I said on the Discord. I don't want to kind of repeat it, as I'm not very good at speaking anyway. That's how I did it through text. So, yeah. Was BFTHSA gonna be contestant vote or viewer voting? It was gonna be viewer voting, as I felt like it made more sense for a joke show to have viewer voting. As I knew that with the reboot of TCC, I decided, oh no, I'm gonna make that contestant vote, like how I was gonna merge beta into contestant vote. It made sense that the joke show should have been viewer voting. I don't know why season 1 wasn't. I just kind of didn't make it viewer voting for some reason. I just went with convenient. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. We've got one YouTube question out of all of these, and I'm happy to see that someone asked about this. What's your favorite YTP that I've made? I gotta say, I gotta go with the As the Fuck the fourth one that I made like a year ago for the As the Movie 4 YTP collab. So, yeah, I'd say that's probably my favorite one. Yeah. Alright. The rest of these questions I feel like are a little too mishmashed for me to be too specific with. They're a lot more general questions, and some of them are joke questions, so we'll get right to it. Who inspired you when you started making YouTube videos? And what was your original idea for a first object show? I think it was something to do with New Zealand, just can't remember the name. So yeah, I'll just quickly start with the object show question, real quick. It was a show called The Battle for Aotearoa. It was a show that I think was my first attempt. It never got released, but it did have its own channel, which eventually turned into the JT Play channel, which also eventually turned into my YTP channel. So, you know, that's an old school. That's some cool facts. Who inspired you when you started making YouTube videos? When I initially wanted to start doing YouTube, I wanted to be a gaming channel, and I think my main inspiration for that would have to been Jacksepticeye. I fucking loved Jacksepticeye back in the day, and I still love his stuff now. Do you think you'll reach at least 10k subs next year? No clue. I'd love to, but I personally think I don't think I'll quite make it. It would be amazing though. What's your favorite game? Board game, video, card, etc. I'll give you a couple answers to this one, because it's a little hard to kind of pick specifics, because I'd like to talk a bit about board games too. My favorite video game of all time is SSX3 for the PS2. Fucking love this game. I think my second favorite is Skate 3 as well, so... favorite board game would have to be Cluedo. I love board games. Cluedo is definitely a personal favorite. And favorite card game, probably Uno. I mean, right behind it would be Muffin Time, which is literally just Uno but in reverse. Both games, great. Have you ever thought that you would make it this far? I didn't think I'd be making as much content as I did do today, honestly, so I guess not. That was always something that I didn't expect growing up. I didn't think I'd become like a YouTuber at first, but I guess when I wanted to be a YouTuber, as a kid, I was like, oh, imagine getting this big channel. But at the same time, part of me was like, nah, that's never gonna happen. I'm surprised at the amount of subs that I get nowadays. Way more than I used to get, so... Wow. So I'd say, yeah, I'd say that I didn't think I'd make it this far. Or at least not this quickly. So, why does it hurt when you pee an electric fence? I do not know. What is your favorite type of video games? Well, I love me some racing games and some rhythm games, as well as some more arcadey sports type games like Skate 3 and SSX3. What do you use for editing? I use Sony Vegas. What animation software do you use? And, which app do you use for animation? To answer both of these questions, I use Adobe Animate, specifically the 2020 version. What's your favorite food? Screw it, I'm gonna say it. Pineapple on pizza. Genuinely really like it. How did you start your channel? I made it in October 28th. And basically, I was very scared of making a channel, and the whole green theming of my channel has stuck since. And it's always been called JT Rock, funnily enough. Which, fun fact, JT Rock is literally just like my nickname mixed with my favorite genre of music growing up, and that was rock music. What made you become a YouTuber? Let's Plays. There's not really much else I could say about that. Although, I will mention when it comes to animation inspiration, it was a lot of Eager Raptor, Rubber Ross, Senor Palo, I'd say, and especially Ed's World. Are you the real JT Rock? I don't know. I'll have to double check. If you could, would you? Nah. What is the meaning of life? I wish I knew. And last question. Are you poopy? How dare you? Anyway, that is it. Thank you for watching. This is the Q&A. Although I do have an announcement. On this date, I'm going to be revealing the voice cast as well as the general cast for the contest Clash Reboot. Not only on Twitter, but also my public Discord server. So if you don't have Twitter, but you do have Discord, join the public Discord server. It's in the link in the description. Yeah. But also, if you want to keep an eye on this show, that is the best place to go. No, you have to be 13 plus if you want to be on the server. Also, I am possibly going to be doing auditions for the show. I'm just not ready to do that yet. I'll get there when I get there. Give me some time. I want to make it proper. I want to do some proper auditions. But, yeah, thank you for watching, and see ya!